Welcome to another hash-defined video. In this video, we are going to build a crypto price monitoring application using Electron. Electron is a JavaScript framework which allows you to build cross-platform applications for Mac, Windows, and Linux. So you can write native, beautiful applications using just basic web dev knowledge. So let's fire up Visual Studio Code and initialize our project by calling npm init. Oops. Init. And let's also install Electron by calling npm install Electron and save it as a developer dependency. And we'll go to package.json and modify the script as start. So this will start Electron in the current directory, and our entry point JavaScript file is index.js. So let's create this file as well. We will also need an HTML file called index.html, using which our user interface will be defined. So let me give this a title of crypto price monitor, and we don't need these meta tags. So in index.js, let's bring in a few required objects from Electron, namely the app and browser window. So this function will create a new browser window by calling new browser window, and this will take up an object which specifies the height and width of the window. And we will load the HTML file within this window by calling load file index.html. So this function creates the main UI window, and this is called only when Electron has been loaded and ready. So we'll need a ready handler, and app.whenReady, then we'll call this function create window. So we'll start our application by calling npm start, and you can see our application window, which is loaded with the index.html. The title is also there, and it has some few default menu options which Electron has provided. We don't need this. We're going to modify this. So for that, we have to bring in the menu object and create a menu template. So this is an array of menu items, and first we will need a file menu, which is a main menu, which will have sub-menu items like this, which will again be an array of objects. And our first sub-menu item under file will be quit, which will be used to quit the application, and clicking which app.quit will be called. We can also provide a keyboard shortcut for this by providing accelerator. And since this application is cross-platform, we can provide the keyboard shortcut based on which platform we are running. So we can use the process.platform object provided by Node, and in case it's equal to Darwin, which says we are on Mac, then the shortcut can be Command plus Q. Otherwise, if you are on Windows, the shortcut can be Control plus Q. Alright, so we also need another submenu item under the main file menu, which will just reload the application. So it will reload the prices from its source. So no, Electron provides a very shortcut method for this. Just provide role equal to reload. Now we need to provide this menu template to Electron. So for that, just after the window has been created, let's build the menu from template by calling menu.build from template, and just provide the menu template which we created down below. And to insert the menu, just call menu.setApplication menu of menu. Okay, now if we start the application, we should be able to see the menu item which we created. So as you can see, our application now only has the file menu, which has quit and reload. It also had keyboard shortcuts. So if I quit, the application closes. Now another important thing which we need while in development is the ability to see the developer tools. So when we are developing JavaScript applications using Chromium, we have the option to open developer tools and see the console and the HTML down. Likewise, Electron is actually using Chromium to render the pages. So we have the option to see the dev tools. So we can use that functionality by adding additional menu item, but we are going to add this item only while we are in development mode. So we can write the code which will add an additional menu item which will allow us to toggle the developer tools. So add developer tools option if in development. So again, we will do this only based on whether we are in development or production. So for that, we check the node env variable should not be equal to production. So in such a case, we will add one more item to the above menu template by pushing the object. So the main menu label for that item will be developer tools, and it will have a submenu with a single item called toggle DevTools. Clicking which, it will take two parameters, item and focused window. Focused window is the currently focused window if there are multiple browser windows open, and you just need to call focus window dot toggle dev tools. And we can also provide a keyboard shortcut for this as before by providing accelerator depending on the platform. If it is Mac, the shortcut can be Command plus Q, and if you're on Windows, it can be Command plus I, and on Windows it can be Control plus I. Okay, so if you are not in production, we are adding the developer tools option. So let's run the Electron app again, and you can see that there is a developer tools option and there is a double dev tools option beneath it. Let me try the keyboard shortcut of Control I, and you can see that the dev tools window is now displayed for this window. So this is the full developer tools option which you get in Chromium. This is very important while developing the applications, since it allows you to debug the application. You can see the various JavaScript errors which have come up, otherwise you will be in the blind. Alright, so The next step is to go to our index.html and use an API to get the cryptocurrency information and populate that data within the interface. So here we are going to use coinapi.io. You can register and get a free API key, and specifically the API which we are going to use is under metadata assets. So we're going to use this endpoint and provide the key which we have to get the various cryptocurrency details as an JSON array. So for that, we can go to index.html and start writing the code which will call this API using the JavaScript fetch API, and then create a table within our user interface which will be populated using all these details. So we will add a new script tag within which we can write the code, and we will write a function called getCoinData, and it's going to use the fetch API, and I will just copy the endpoint which we are going to call. And the method is get on that endpoint, and we need to specify our API key in the headers as xCoin API key. You can find all these details in the documentation of coinapi.io. And you can paste your key here from your coinapi.io account. Now we will get the details of currencies from the response by calling response.json. For now, let's log this data so that we can see this within the developer tools console and see if it's actually working. So let's just open DevTools and reload. It will take some time, a few seconds. Oh, so we are not actually calling this function, so we need to call this function by calling getCoinData. And now let's reload. So you can see the response is printed here, and it contains the coin data details of various currencies. This includes cryptocurrencies as well as normal currencies like euro and dollars. So we need to display information only for cryptocurrencies, and for that you can use the type is crypto property, which will be 1 for cryptocurrencies. Now to display it in a neat fashion, we are going to use materialize CSS. So go to materializecss.com and grab the Syrian link and paste it in our head, in the HTML's head. And instead of this H1, we're going to use the navigation header provided by Materialize CSS. So we have a nice header, and we will create a table below this header which will display all the cryptocurrency details. So you can see the table being displayed here. Now it will also need a table body which we will fill from our code. So we will get the table body here. And we will loop over these currencies. We can delete this console.log. Instead, we are going to loop over these currencies using the for each method. And for each currency, we will first check if it is of crypto type. If type is crypto, only then we will add it to the table body. So we are going to create an HTML code which will add a new row into the table which we created with the cryptocurrency details. So we're going to write HTML code here. There will not be any autocomplete here, unfortunately. So in the first column we have the currency name, and then the second column we have currency symbol, and in the last column we have the price in USD. So we're going to use the template element to easily create the table row from HTML. So we can just provide template dot inner HTML equals row HTML. And we will append this row to the table. So let's reload the application by hitting Ctrl R. And if there are any errors, we can see this inside the DevTools. So right now we do have some errors. Create template is not a function. So it should actually be create element of type template. We'll again reload. And this time we can see that the information is now displayed. Now one last thing which we will do is when the application is loaded or reloaded, this area is blank for a while till the data is obtained. So we are going to display a spinner here which indicates loading animation. So for that we are going to again use materialize so it has a preload component, and here using this you can show various animations. We are going to show this animation, so we can just copy this into our code. We will display this soon after the table. So if I reload, you can see this code, but we're going to wrap this within our own element so that we can hide it once the table is displayed. Now if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you should be able to see the spinner. So right now we are going to wrap it in our own div element with id spinner, and let's align this in the center. We'll just paste it inside this element, and along with the table body we can get the spinner as document.getElement by id spinner. And once we display all the cryptocurrency details, we can just hide the spinner by calling spinner.parentElement.remove child of spinner. So right now if we go to the application and just reload it, you can see the loading animation, and when the data is obtained and filled, the animation will go away. So I hope you find this video useful. In case you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the comments. Please like this video in case you have watched this so far, and please share your feedback so that how I can improve the videos in future ones. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you.